Awesome.
Lindsay, so I think everybody's on, whether they can talk or not. So.
Okay. Very cool. Well, good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Fox Den training. We are uber excited to roll this baby out. Happy Wednesday morning. I never get to say it to you guys. It's always happy Monday morning. We are very excited to get this in your hands. This is an interactive demo. So right now, you should be logged into the WebEx via your laptop or your desktop if you're using one of those. And you should be logged into your iPad brochure, the Fox Den, via your iPad. Because I want you to follow along as I do. Obviously, you're not going to be seeing the exact same screen as mine. You'll be seeing your own screen. But I want you to interact with it because it will spark questions for you. This is something you're going to have to know how to do, folks. So please, please, please ask questions. Let me know what those questions are. Stop me. I will ask if there's any questions periodically throughout the training. But you've got to know how to use this. Starting today, because in the next week we are going to be killing, that's right, putting the axe down on C6. That sucker's going away. So you need to know how to use the Fox Den exclusively. So I encourage you to start using it exclusively today and only use C6 as backup if for some reason something doesn't function properly in the Fox Den. Now, as we go along, you guys are going to have some questions and some ideas, enhancement ideas and things like that. You're going to hear me say, would you please submit a feedback to us for that. Excuse me. I will show you at the very end of this training how to submit the feedback through the feedback button, and we've enhanced that feedback button to help you out as well. So very, very cool stuff there. Now, before we get kicked off, any questions before we get rolling here? All right. Well, guys, if you can mute your phone if you're not asking the question, that'd be great. One thing you're going to notice directly looking at the Fox Den is we have set this up a little bit differently than C6. Everything you know about C6 and how it functions, I'm going to ask you to suspend that. I know you spend a lot of time, some of you a lot of years, in the C6 app, learning it, understanding it, knowing it, loving it, living it. Now we're going to shift over to the Fox Den. Some of the things that you know and have been able to do in the past with C6 are no longer applicable, and in some instances, may actually be to your detriment if you do them the same way. So please take the knowledge you have of C6, put it to the side for now. Let's learn the Fox Den, and we'll talk about anything that transfers over. The other thing to let you know, when you open your Fox Den each morning, it actually downloads all of your accounts. And unlike the C6 app, you are going to be only able to deal directly with your accounts. So if you remember in C6, you could go in, you could click, and you could enter any dealer you felt like entering for the day and take a look at their information. That is no longer the case. Now, what we do is we download all of your accounts and all the associated information that you're going to see via the Fox Den directly to your iPad. That way, you can work completely when there's no service. You could be on an airplane. You could be out in the sticks in wherever the heck you drive and have no service, no Wi-Fi. You can still work. You'll still function completely, still have access to all your dealers, all of their data associated with that dealership and that account. So it's all there for you. Anything you do in this iPad will be saved. And then when you get connectivity, bing, boom, bang, right back into Salesforce, and everything will sync automatically. So some great, great news there on the enhancement. But let's take a look at your homepage. This is really designed to help you understand your day, your week, your month, and things that you may want to consider. Now, obviously, we're at the beginning of the month, so there's not going to be a whole lot of data here. If you take a look at your screen, I am impersonating Lindsay Youngblood. I am a Lindsay Youngblood impersonator for the day. So, but she's okay with that. We've had some conversations in the past. She's cool with that. Right, Lindsay?
Yes, sir.
Awesome. Thank you.
What you're getting into.
I'm going to tell some really bad jokes here in about 5 minutes just to make you guys feel like I'm really Lindsay. So take a look at your screen. In the top left corner, the first thing you're going to see is My Activity. And underneath My Activity, you're going to see month to date. Now, what that lets you know is there's two different ways that some of this data is displayed on the homepage. Some of it is month to date, meaning it's real time. As you're adding information into Salesforce, adding information via the iPad, it updates automatically and adds that to there. Some of the stuff is based on last month's information. So we'll talk about like my results, my territory in a second, and you're going to see a lot of that's based on accounting. So as we close out accounting and update the monthly information, that populates then, and then it will not change until the following month's information is up to date. But My Activity is month to date. It should say real time, minute to minute, because it does update. So if you take a look, first thing, target visits. Lindsay has 90 target visits. She has completed 9 for the month, so she is currently in the red zone, but no big deal, Lindsay, because it is early in the month. We know you got lots of time and you got lots to do. Now, your visits may have a different target. That's totally fine. It's totally based on the number of visits. And Asha, do you want to tell us how that is calculated?
Absolutely. So in Salesforce, anything that's categorized as an event under your activities list, so visits, trainings, incremental meetings, anything that's categorized as an event will show up in that visits target.
Awesome. So as you log those visits in the iPad brochure and certain types of visits in Salesforce, they will populate under visits. You also have total number of calls and emails, and these are tasks. Is that correct? Tasks you've closed as calls and tasks you've closed as emails?
Absolutely.
Awesome. So as Lindsay has closed out tasks that were calls, she's got 2 there, and she's closed out email tasks. Those will populate there as well. So again, you've got visits, calls, and emails all included in your My Activity, real-time, month-to-date. Any questions on My Activity? All right, well, let's jump into my results. Next one to the right, a lot of great information here. So for February 2017, we do not yet have the March numbers. They should be coming in the next, I knew that was going to happen. They should be coming in the very near future. But for February 2017, here's Lindsay's goals, and here how she compares to those goals. You're going to see some yellow, you see some red earlier in the target visits, and you see some green. So let's take a look at target 10% year-over-year revenue growth. Lindsay's at 7.6. So she's negative 2.4. She's in the yellow zone. That's all right. She can make that up. Advantage revenue retention is at 91.9%. Target advantage retention, her target is 88%. Lindsay is at 90.5%, so she is up 2.5%. Want to see something really cool because she's over goal? I'm going to jump back in. Bump, bump, bump. Pat on the back for Lindsay. You guys see that number bounce? That means she is above goal. Woo! Good job, Lindsay. And then target UCL retention is 75%. She's currently at 62.5% for the month through the month of February, which is a down 12.5%. So really this is just to kind of give you an update of where you are on your revenue retention and goals.
One thing to note about these data points, these get updated every time billing finalizes. So billing for March hasn't finalized yet, so we're still looking at the February data, but as soon as that billing is done, these will update with the March numbers.
Awesome. Any questions on my results?
I don't have a question, but our metrics are going to change slightly, so we'll get those to you guys. I don't know how long it takes to get into a new version of this, but we'll get those to you.
Awesome. That's great. So, and along those lines, Jeff, I'm glad you brought that up. Just so you guys know, too, when we change these, gone are the days when Angela sends you out an email link to click here and download overnight. I know you love hearing from Angela. She loves talking to you. However, that's a lot of freaking emails to send out. So, what we've done is actually make this automatic. When we do push these updates, it's going to happen automatically when you log in to your iPad app, the FoxDen. So, you'll no longer get a link from Angela. You'll just log in. It'll say, hey, you want to download the new content? You hit yes. And boom, you're going to download that new content. All right, well, let's move on to my territory. Bottom left-hand corner, as you can see, it's through the February 2017. So this is also based on billing. Lindsay's target for cost per report dealers is target of 85% of her dealers having a CPR of less than $8. Lindsay has 91.6 for a plus 6.6%. I think she deserves another pat on the back. Bump, bump. There you go, Lindsay. Pat on the back. Well done. Your My Territory is kicking it. So really, that's all about cost per report for you guys. Now, when you're writing with your sales folks, they have different requirements under activity, results, territory, and my priorities we'll talk about. So don't be dismayed when you're looking at theirs and you go, hey, how come your home screen doesn't look like mine? They have different goals that their manager has set. Any questions about my territory? All right, well, let's jump into the final one, my priorities. This one's super cool because it is super interactive. My priorities are month to date. So as you're closing these things out, adding these things, they're going to update. Under my priorities, you have tasks. Lindsay currently has 0. You have at-risk accounts. She currently has 18. 105 open cases and 96 opportunities. And you can see that these are blue. Anything that's blue in the FoxDen, all you can do, if you want to, is click on it. I'm going to touch tasks. We're not going to go into it, but look at that. Jumps right to her task. I'm going to go back to the home page. Now, before you think, oh my gosh, Lindsay's such a slacker, she has 105 open cases, realize that those open cases are open cases regardless of whether they're assigned to her or someone else is dealing with one of her accounts. It's really just to let you know of all of your accounts, there are currently 105 open cases, and you can review that information. We're going to do that here in just a second. But any questions on my priorities? All right.
Nothing.
Well, that is the home screen in a nutshell, folks. Really, once again, just designed to help you take a quick look at your day, the activity that you need to accomplish to meet your goals, your results for the last month so that you can know what areas you need to work on for this month, and then any priorities that you need to attack maybe first thing this morning. So, speaking of priorities, take a look at the bottom of the screen. You're going to see a little button that says Home. I'm going to click on My Priorities, and we're going to change pages. Now, what you're going to see is two different screens here. You're going to see on the left-hand side, these are the dealers that are for today's planned visits. Thank you, Lindsay, so much for having dealers in your planned visits. It really makes it easier for me to talk about it. Thank you. But these are the dealers that you're going to visit today, and each one of these, I'll scroll through them a little quick. She's got 7 on there. Each one of these are what we call dealer cards. And we're going to go into some detail on those in just a second. But first, let's take a look at the right where it says My Priorities. Now, you're going to see tasks there. Lindsay currently has 0 tasks, okay? But if there were tasks that she needed to complete, she would have those up to date there. And there's several different types of tasks. There's to-dos, and you can click on the account. If there's a to-do there, it takes you right to the account in Salesforce. There are also, calls. And if you click on the account name that you would see there as part of your call task, it would actually dial that phone number. That's right. It's going to take over your phone. It's going to call directly from your phone. And that way you can actually close that task out as making a call. And then what's the other one? Emails. Woo! Forgot about emails. So when you click on the account name under tasks and it's an email task, it will actually open your Outlook on your iPad and allow you to send an email that way. So then you have 3 different types of tasks that would be available to you under the tasks button. Any question on tasks? All right, well then let's take a look at risk accounts. Looks like she's got 18 at-risk accounts. Holy cow, OnCar Automotive is paying $147 per report. We probably want to chat with them. They're down there in Augusta, Georgia. Ed is an Advantage account. But let's not use them as an example. Let's take one step down. Let's take a look at Copeland Motor Company. So they are an Advantage account. They're at risk and Advantage. They're paying, why? Because they're paying more than $8 per report. They are paying $41.58 per report. Once again, the account name, Copeland Motor Company in Goose Creek, South Carolina. Now, I told you anything that's blue you can click on. Let's click on Copeland Motor Company and see what happens. Well, check it out. I have not logged into Salesforce today, so let me do that real quick. And you're going to get this at the beginning of the day, telling you to do the same thing. Hit login. And now it goes right into Copeland Motor Company's account in Salesforce. One of the very cool things about this is I am in Safari, I am in Salesforce, and I am in a fully editable Salesforce interface. Meaning I can do work now in Salesforce and it will save. Unlike the last app, we've enhanced it, we've made it better. You can go into Salesforce, you can go into any account, do anything you want to in that account or contact or opportunity, whatever you're working in. When you hit save, it will actually save in Salesforce. You don't have to go into a separate Salesforce to do that. So, woo, big enhancement there. But now I'm in Salesforce. I got to get back into the app. I've left the app. There are 2 ways to do that. One of which is you're probably familiar with. There's a little button right above the charging port, and I can double-click that, and I can hit the Fox Den, and I can go right into the Fox Den that way. But let's go back into Copeland Motor Company, and I'll show you an even cooler way. I think it's even much faster. Take a look at the very, very, very top left corner of your screen, right by where it says, hey, you got 5 bars and you got a nice little Wi-Fi fan that says Fox Den. Very tippy top in tiny little letters. If you touch that, bloop, right back into the Fox Den, right back to where I was working in my at-risk accounts. So, very, very easy way to get right back into the Fox Den. Any questions on the at-risk accounts?
That number. Go ahead.
I was just going to say, so it basically just opens a new tab, like a new Safari tab, so you can just kind of leave that open. You don't have to exit out of that one.
That's exactly right. You can leave it open, or you can close it out. It opens a new tab each time you go into Safari from the app.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, great question. Who else?
That cost per report, is that for February, or is that a 12-month average, 3-month average? What is that?
That is for the month of February. So we're taking a look just at the February billing.
Okay.
Great question. Also, I should have pointed out, if you look at this box at the bottom of the at-risk accounts box, this is just 1 through 10 of those 18 total. There's two ways you can scroll through. You see a little arrow to the right there. I'm going to touch the arrow and scroll right over. Or even easier, I can simply swipe my finger in the box back and forth to as many different pages as I have, and it will take me there. So 2 different ways to scroll through any of these boxes that we're talking about. Any other questions on at-risk accounts?
Hey, Britt, the cost per report, is that the reports that the dealer has run, or is that including ICRs?
That is just cost per dealer run report. Great question. All right. Well, let's close up at-risk accounts and let's take a look at finance status. There are 2 different types of finance status to look at. There's pre-TOF. We got 29 in there. And there's turned off. We got 1 in there. So you can very easily, again, scroll through your pre-TOFs. You can click the turned off. Open that one right there. They're not part of an owner group. They're just Car Plus in Augusta, Georgia. Let's go back to pre-TOF, though. Automotive Management, Mount Pleasant Chevrolet in Mount Pleasant, South Carolina. Once again, I told you if it's blue, you can click on it. Let's click on Mount Pleasant. Opens right back up into Salesforce. Going to go right back into Mount Pleasant Chevrolet's account in Salesforce. And that's great. I've done all the work I need to do there. How do I get back? Top left corner, hit that FoxDen button, and whoop, zam, bibbity bam, I'm right back into the FoxDen app. Any questions on finance status?
Hey, Brent, does that update, like, as soon as Mason got that email, was it live time? Like, as soon as she hits it and it's, sent out to us saying these are all the talks or the pre-talks, does that update in there immediately?
It will. You will probably need to refresh, so you probably need to go back to your home screen, let it catch up. I'll give Lindsay a couple pats on the back there, and then go back into My Priorities, and then you can check finance status, and then it'll have refreshed.
So you don't have to click anything when you go back to your home screen. It's just going to when you hit home screen, it's going to automatically refresh.
Exactly. When you hit home screen, it's going to automatically refresh as long as you have service. Now, once again, if you're on an airplane or an airplane mode, or you got nothing because you're out in the sticks, it can't grab that data and refresh it. But if you have service, it will refresh it.
Brent, I don't see the FoxDen back button.
Okay, are you in Salesforce?
Yeah.
Okay, great. Take a look at my screen real quick. Look in the very, very top left-hand corner. It's way up there. It's really small. It's right next to where it's got 5 dots for my service.
Yeah.
It should say FoxDen. Does it not say that on yours?
No, it doesn't.
So if you went
It
into
is, you
Safari,
probably signed in the wrong way to
yeah,
Salesforce.
that'll only come up, that FoxDen link back will only come up if you got to Safari from FoxDen. If you went outside of FoxDen and just opened Safari, then you won't see that link back to the app.
It's saying Safari. I'm just following along, with you guys.
Okay, so you came out of the FoxDen, you hit one of the accounts and went into Safari?
Right.
Awesome. So do me a favor, write that down. Remember I told you we're going to have some feedback buttons here in a little bit. Jot that down, and I'll show you at the end how to do a feedback, and then you can submit that way, and we will definitely look into that and take care of that for you.
Okay.
It may be a configuration thing. Any other questions on finance status?
Hey, Brent,
Yes.
I have a question about the Salesforce login. I am continuing to get the code that where it's sending the code to my phone over and over and over when I'm going into Salesforce through FoxDen. Is that also maybe configuration, or am I doing something wrong?
That should not be happening at all. You should not get that code. Are you talking about when you log into Safari or when you log into the FoxDen?
When I'm in FoxDen and I'm trying to jump over to Salesforce, and I'm continuing to get the send the code to your phone. I've got a password even when if I'm in FoxDen and I try to get it to open up Salesforce.
Okay. Yeah, that sounds like something's going on with your Salesforce there with your validation. Again, can you jot that down on a piece of paper? I'll show you how to do a feedback button on that, and we'll get that taken care of too. This is awesome.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Solving problems. Woo! Here to help. Anything else? This is great. All right, well, I'm going to close up finance status. I'm going to jump into cases. So remember I told you that there are 105 open cases. That's 105 total open cases on Lindsay's account. Lindsay only has 2 open cases under my cases, and there's 103 Carfax cases. Now you can see the different types of cases. There's data research. Looks like there's a lot of DBU research, some DBU technical issues. I'm scrolling through those. And then I'll jump back over to my cases. She's got a couple of cancellation requests. The status is new. No owner group. Looks like the first one is Hilton Head Cadillac Buick GMC. Let's click on that account name. And that one goes right into the case. So now she's right into a fully interactive version of the case in Salesforce on Safari. She can update it. She can edit it. She can hopefully delete it because they changed their mind or close it out, whatever you do. And boom, that's done and gone. So you got, again, fully interactive version of Salesforce right here. Going to jump back into the Fox Den, and I'm right back in my cases. Once again, though, I can go into Carfax cases, even though they're not assigned to me, and I want to go, well, how are we with that DBU research on New Life Auto Sales Incorporated? I just touch on New Life Auto Sales, Inc., and it opens that case up, and now I can go right through here and check out the notes and see where we are related to that case. And then, boom, top left corner, Fox Den, boop, right back into the Fox Den. Any questions on cases? All right, well, let's close up cases. Take a look at the last one, opportunities. Happy to say Lindsay has 96 opportunities in her territory. 39 of those are ones that she's created. 57 are ones that someone else has created in her territory. And what you see there is the stage. So we got activation pending, we got contacted, we got closed one, the account name, city, state, and the opportunity amount. I'm going to jump back into Lindsay's My Opportunities. She's got DBU contract pending under Galena Chrysler Jeep Kia down in Columbia for $949. That sounds pretty awesome. Let's take a look at that one. I'm going to click on the account name. Going to open up Salesforce. Takes me right into the Salesforce interface, right to the account. Now I can take a look at any of the opportunities or anything I want to do. Update that, hit save, Fox Den left corner, right back in, right back into opportunities. Any questions on that?
I'm assuming this is based on the date that we put in for the opportunity to close by. You know what I'm saying? So, like, if the close date passes, will these still show up in here, or will they be? Will they not show up unless it's within the the close date that we put into the opportunity?
So the opportunities that are showing up here are anything that's listed as open right now in Salesforce. So my understanding is that those reset at the beginning of the month, every month. So anything that's in there right now is from this month.
Perfect. Thank you.
Yep.
Great question. Can I just tell you, I stop right here. You guys are my favorite team so far. You have definitely won the question round, and I'm super happy. That means you're interacting and you're actually looking at it. So keep it coming. This is fantastic. This is what we've been hoping for 3 days.
Yes.
What else? All right, well, let's close up opportunities, and let's take a look over here on the left. You see the movement on your screen. We are now going to jump into today's planned visits. And these are my dealer cards over here. These are the people that Lindsay has already scheduled to visit today. We'll walk through the process of that here in just a few minutes on how she did that. But she's got Hernan Chevrolet. She's got luxury cars with Lexington, Midlands Auto, Carolina Motors, on down the line there. Now, you're going to see some really great information right off the bat when you check these out. First of all, you'll see the dealership name. Then you'll see their city, state, and zip. Then you're going to see if they're active. Is a current dealer on Advantage. And then what type? Is it a DN or a DU? So dealer new, dealer used. You see the first two, one of each. And then you can tell very quickly, green means they're on, red means they're off. So Hernan Chevrolet is on Advantage, not on UCL, not on my Carfax. So automatically, Lindsay knows exactly what she wants to talk about with Hernan Chevrolet because she's got 2 opportunities there in addition to running through the account review. I'm going to scroll on down here to number 6 and 7. Take a look at those. So guys, what you're going to see there is a little bit different. Those are actually part of a group. So you see the grayed out group name directly under the name. So number 7, Jaguar Land Rover Columbia, is Peacock Automotive Group. So now we know that that is part of a group as well. You're also going to see on the right-hand side there the distance from where my iPad is located to that dealership. So I am 395.49 miles to be exact away from Hernan Chevrolet. So that's going to give you kind of a heads up on how far you've got to drive. Now, you take a look at the top left-hand corner where it says today's planned visits. Look next to that, it says sort. Let's click on that button and see what happens. You can sort by furthest away, you can sort by nearest, or you can sort by A to Z or Z to A, however you like to plan your day. I'm going to close that out. Jump into Hernan Chevrolet. Let's click on it because remember I told you it's blue. I'm going to click on it. What happens? We have opened the dealer health card, and there's several ways to get here. I'll show you some other ways in a few minutes. But now what you're looking at is all of that information you used to have on the dealer dashboard in the old iPad C6 app. So we've kept all that for you, so you still got it. Know it's important. So taking a look at the right, you got all their financial information, vehicle history, average revenue, cost per reports run, all their VIN counts, all their VH usage. If they were on UCL, you would also have all that information under advertising. Now take a look at the left. You got visit notes. We'll go into that in just a second. Content, we'll go into that too. Contacts, quote, UCL preferences. That's right, I can change UCL preferences directly from here simply by clicking on it, opening up the DAM tool, logging in, and updating their UCL preferences. You've got their address, which means that'll tell me how to drive there. You see it's got a little map point. We'll run through that too. Phone number, if I hit that button, what's going to happen? Whoop, the telephone's going to start ringing. I'm going to start calling Hernan Chevrolet. And you have their website. Maybe you want to say, hey, are their ICRs up? Are they working? I'm going to click on HernanChevy.com down there in blue. It's going to open their website, and I can jump right into that as well. Take a look at that. You can also continue to scroll down the page with all the information you used to have. If they're part of an owner group, who is my Carfax rep, who's the account owner, group rep, all that kind of stuff, and handy-dandy driving directions, bottom left-hand corner of the screen with a big green box for you. Any questions on dealer health?
Hey, this might be a stupid question.
Get counts on there.
Wait a minute, let's let ladies go first. What do you got?
So, is this app going to be on my phone too for me to click the call?
It is not. This is strictly an iPad app. Great question.
Okay, sorry.
Hey, was that you?
Yeah, how do you get the dealers on there?
So that's a great question. We're going to show you that in just a second.
Okay.
I'll walk you through that. Awesome. Let's jump out of dealer health. Let's go back into my priorities. And we're still looking at Hernan Chevrolet at the top. Now, you see there's a little arrow button there? This is one of my favorite things of this entire app. There's so much amazing stuff to talk about, but this one kills me. I'm going to swipe that to the left. I can remove that. If I hit remove, it's going to remove that visit from the day. If I hit continue, not going to do that to Lindsay. She's worked very hard to put it there. I'm going to hit cancel. But what I think is even cooler, whoa, Davo's taking off over there, is this more button. It's got 3 buttons on it. Let's push it and see what's more. What? Here's everything I can do directly from my priorities. I can enter my visit notes. Let's do that. I'm going to hit enter visit notes. Now it has brought up all the visit notes for the past 30 days. I can scroll through it, see who wrote them, even if I did not enter them. If someone entered a visit note for one of my accounts, it's going to populate right there. So it looks like March 21st, Shannon was in there. March 10th, Shannon was in there. Lindsay was in there on March 10th. Here's all the notes that she entered. But let's say I just completed a visit, and I want to add visit notes. Very simple to do. See where the top left of the screen says visit notes? There's a plus sign to the right of that. I'm going to click on that. Now I have the ability to type in my visit notes. What was the subject? What was the type? What was the reason? Who did I meet with? Here's all of my contacts. Schedule a follow-up task? Sure. I'm going to click that button to schedule a follow-up task because I may want to do a email later on, and it is an outbound. Let's see. What are we going to call it? We're going to call that. No, it's an email. Duh. We're going to do an email, and I can assign a due date to that of April the 8th because that's what they asked me to do. Hey, they want me to reach them on Saturday just to make sure I'm cool. Then I can scroll down and type in the goal of the meeting, results of the meeting, next steps. And unless you are Lindsay and Siri doesn't understand what you say, you can talk to text in the box here as well. Any question on the visit notes?
She's very hateful that she does not understand me.
I know. I do like to see the things that she comes up with, though. It's pretty entertaining to me. When I'm ready to submit that, top right-hand corner, I hit submit. Boom, it'll log a visit note, and you're good to go. I'm not going to do that because it's a bunch of gibberish. I'm going to hit cancel. Top left-hand corner, now I am done with my visit notes. Let's go back to my priorities. Let's swipe again, Britt, because there's a lot of cool stuff in there. How about managing contacts? Sounds great. Let's do that. I'm going to click Manage Contacts. All of my contacts for this dealership immediately pop right up in alphabetical order. But check out the top button right there. First of all, you're going to see Hernan Chevrolet. We got a phone number and a website. We have the ability to add used cars on the lot, used cars sold last month, and service bays. Even more importantly, excuse me, we have different key players, all right? And we want to know who these key players are for 2 reasons. And if you take a look at who they are, you'll know that very quickly. First, we got somebody in service. Second, we got somebody in marketing. And third, we've got somebody in sales. What does that correspond to, ladies and gentlemen? I think it corresponds to your account review, who you need to talk to at the dealership. So, Lindsay has Ed Redmond as the internet e-commerce service player. We need to assign somebody to marketing, and we need somebody to sales. What that's going to do is when Lindsay rolls back in there 6 weeks, she can very quickly bring this up and know exactly who she needs to be talking to at that dealership without having to memorize everybody at the dealership. Also, the second feature of this is it allows marketing to do what we're supposed to do with the dealer marketing machine, meaning we can deliver unique messages to unique players at the dealership. Of course, the service player is going to get a completely different message than the sales player. Service player, I don't want to send them an email that says, hey, how's your turn time? We can help increase it or decrease it, I guess. And I don't want to send an email to the salesperson saying, hey, have you closed all your open recalls? Neither one of those really care about that message. So we want to make sure that we get the right message in the right hands. And having these key players is going to allow us to do that. How do we establish key players? We ask, very easy, top right-hand corner. I'm going to hit edit. Now you'll see under service key players, I can add contacts or marketing or sales ops. You can even add multiple contacts. I'm going to hit add contact under service key player. Let's say James Watts is another service key player. I'm down in marketing. How about Ed Redmond? He's a heck of a guy. And in sales and ops, Russell Mitchell is definitely the sales ops key player. So now I've added those. When I hit save in the top right-hand corner, bang, they're going to save and you are good to go. I'm not going to do that to Lindsay, though. I'm going to let her make actual real decisions. So let's also take a look at our contacts on the left-hand side over here. You're going to see a couple different things, one of which is, of course, you got some blue contacts. Blue means touchy-touchy. I'm going to touch Buck Herndon, and I've got he is the owner, principal, and his information. But Buck has a little exclamation point in a circle that's telling me I'm missing something for Buck. Well, Buck, what do we need? We need your email. Check it out. It's bright red, and I know I need to enter an email. So top right-hand corner, I just hit edit. I can type in an email and very easily know that that is now Buck's email. Now, by putting in an email, it allows me to also do some other stuff. Check out the shared email button right next to that. You guys have told us in the past, hey, I'm glad you want to know email addresses, but just so you know, 6 people at this dealership have the exact same email. It's info@HerndonChevrolet.com. No problem. Simply click the shared email button. It turns green, and now marketing knows not to send an email that says, hey, Buck, have you thought about X, Y, and Z? Because we know that's going to go to 6 other people at the dealership as well. So it's going to eliminate that confusion. You can also do things like once you enter an email address, like tell if you want to have them receive new data alerts or new open recall alerts, swipe the button. It's either or and. Oh, I got to hit return. There we go. So now I can say Buck needs to get these. Gone are the days of primary contacts and T's and D's and A's and all kinds of letters for our dealer contacts. And now we are actually drilling down in and going to let you have the power of what these people get in the form of these emails. But wait, there is much, much more. Let's say Buck is got a title we got here of dealer principal. That's great. His business function is owner principal. But let's say that Buck is the pre-owned sales director. And so I'm going to click pre-owned. You're going to go, that's awesome, Britt. What did you just say? You said he's a pre-owned sales director. I do not see that business function anywhere. Well, guess what we can do? We can layer stuff. So pre-owned sales, I'll go back, and then I'll look at job level right under it. What's his job level? Director. Now Buck is the pre-owned sales director. And his contact role may very well be he is the service ops key player. I'm going to jump back. Now I have identified all the information for Buck that we need to have in Salesforce. When I hit save in the top right-hand corner, it instantly updates here, updates in Salesforce, and that nasty exclamation point in the circle goes away. I'm going to hit the back button so I don't do that to poor Lindsay because that was all bogus stuff. One last thing I want you to take a look at under contacts. Take a look at the left-hand side. What do you see there? You see all the contacts in blue that are active, and then you see 2 at the bottom, Jake and Scott, that are grayed out. Well, gray means I can't do anything with them. That means they're inactive. Well, guess what? That we have changed how we do our active and deactive for contacts. So you guys remember in the past, maybe you said, hey, Jake just got canned as the internet e-commerce director. He's gone. I'm going to make his contact inactive. But what you may not know is Herndon Chevrolet, Jake was the Internet E-commerce Director, but he was also the E-commerce Director over at Herndon Ford. And now what you've done is deactivate that contact completely in Salesforce and taking him out of both Chevy and the Ford store. So what we're doing now instead is we're saying Jake is no longer active at the Herndon Chevrolet dealership, and we're just deactivating him for that specific account instead of completely deactivating him for the entire contact. And, you know, these contacts may even be shared. You may have one in your territory, and Jake also works in another territory 100 miles away. And that person's going, what the heck happened to Jake? He's still here. I got to bring him back. Then he reactivates him. Then you go, no, Jake's gone. I got to deactivate it. And you go back and forth, back and forth. Those days are gone. But let's say Jake starts back up again at the Herndon Chevy store. Awesome. All I got to do is swipe over, hit activate, and boom, Jake is now active again at Herndon Chevrolet. You can also swipe active accounts and deactivate them. But once again, you're strictly deactivating them from that location. Any questions on contacts? Woo! All right, well, let's jump out of there. Let's jump right back into Herndon. Let's hit more, because wait, there is more. I want to get driving directions. I've taken a look at visit notes. I've taken a look at contacts. I know who I'm going to talk to. Let's figure out how to get there. I'm going to click Get Driving Directions, and all of a sudden it's going to open up maps on the iPad. Give me directions. I can hit the little blue button. It's going to step-by-step walk me through. And you say, that is fantastic, Britt. Totally worthless to me because I've synced my phone with my ride, and I only use my phone to navigate. Guess what? We have a solution for you. Look right below directions. It's got the address. To the right of that address is a tiny little box with an arrow in it. I'm going to hit that. I'm going to hit message. Now I can message that directly to my phone via text. When I hit send, it pops up on my phone, and now I can open it in whatever I want to use. I want to use Waze. I want to use Maps. I want to use Google Maps. I get it synced with my ride. Boom, bang, zing, zang. I am driving down the road in just 7 hours and 14 short minutes. I'll be down there in Lexington, South Carolina to do this visit. Any questions on directions?
You're going to miss your target.
Yeah, I think I'll miss my goal. All right, well, we're out of the iPad app. What's that?
We call our ride the whip.
Ride the whip. Oh, sorry about that. I'm not cool with the slang of the kids these days. You guys are just too hip for me. Well, let's jump back into the Fox Den, top left-hand corner. Boop! We're still back in today's planned visits. I know there's more because it says there's more. What do you got for me, iPad? You got content preparation. Let's take a look at that. So here is all of the information that you used to have in your iPad C6 condensed into a handy-dandy area that you can access. So the first thing you're going to see is your reports. You got account review. You got Carfax performance. You got UCL. This one's a prospect. And if they're on My Carfax, you would have the My Carfax report available to you. And let's take a look at what you see there. You see thumbnails. Please, please, please know that these are static thumbnails. These are not the account that you're looking at. If you take a look, it says John Smith, Euro Motor Cars. Don't even have on my glasses. I can read that. And it says 33 cents per report. Don't make the mistake of going, hey, I'm going into Herndon Chevrolet. 33 cents per report sounds pretty darn good. Because what happens when you actually click the account review is it pulls it up. So now I have the account review for Herndon Chevy, and I have the actual information associated with that account. I still have everything else just like I used to have in a C6, ready to go at my fingertips, but now I have the updated information instead of just those thumbnails at the top. I hit close, and now scroll on down the page to marketing content. Here's where you see all of your slides that you had in the C6, acquisition, advertising, retail service, what's new, advantage growth, and UCL prospect. Well, we know we got to do a My Carfax conversation, so let's click on advertising, and here are my slides. I'm cooking through them. I'm telling them all about it. Hey, guess what, dealer? You bought the right vehicles. 70% here, 50% there. Time to sign up. Let's go. Get cranking. It's all right there at your fingertips. How do I get out of this, you say? Very, very simple. Touch the middle of the screen or anywhere on the screen. Hold it for just a second. Oh, sorry, I hit the video. Hold it for just a second, and the done button will pop up in the top left. I hit done. I'm right back into content. So all the content slides right there available for you. But wait, there's more. We got resources. We got videos. We got quotes. We know we got to generate one for this sucker because we got to sign them up. Looks like Lindsay has got an update she's got to do. I'm going to hit done. And we got the briefcase. Let's click on briefcase. Very simple to use. If I want to send Chris some briefcase stuff, well, Chris, here you go. I'm tapping Carfax for Dealers plus button. I'm tapping My Carfax, and I'm tapping promo box. When I hit send, top right-hand corner, out goes the briefcase. There you go, Chris. Easy peasy. But let's say you're meeting with somebody and they're a new contact at the dealership and they want to learn more information. no problem. To the right of select a contact, there's a big plus button. You add that, now I can go right into contacts. I can hit top right next to contacts, another plus button, add a brand spanking new contact. I hit save, I hit done, and that contact's going to appear in the briefcase, ready to roll. I'm going to hit cancel so that this person doesn't get stuff they're not looking for. And now last thing under the content section of sample account review talk tracks. Let's take a look at that bottom left-hand corner. Here are all of the talk tracks that we delivered back in the olden days. We did it on the internet. Now we're doing it on your iPad. You can simply swipe through, get your conversation starters, your messaging points for everything that's included on your account review. How do I get out of that again? Touch anywhere on the screen, bring up the done button, and I'm back out. Any questions on content? Excuse me. All right, well, I'm done with content. I'm right back into Hernan Chevrolet. I think there's one thing left. There is reschedule account review because Lindsay said, man, I ain't been kicking it today. I talked to these other dealers, and they held me in there for an hour, but good news, I signed up 4 on my Carfax and 6 on UCL. I need to reschedule, though, this guy for another day. I'm going to hit reschedule account review. Now I can pick any day in the future that I want to go over there. You can even do it, well, maybe not on Sunday. How about September the 11th on Monday? I've got 0 visits currently scheduled for that day. I know I'm going to be back in the area. That is the day I want to do. I hit continue, and automatically that is going to add it to that day on my calendar, which we will talk about in just a second. I'm going to cancel out of that, though, slide it back over before I screw something up, and ask, are there any questions on my priorities?
Brick, I want to take a step back just for a second. When you're on an account and you have the phone number and you click the phone number, you said it takes over your phone. Could you explain that just a little bit more? Because I want to make sure people understand, they're not dialing through their iPad.
Sure, absolutely. So let's say I'm in the dealer health dashboard, and if you look halfway down the screen under dealer info, it's got a phone number 803-359-2504. When I click that, I'm just going to do it real quick, and then we'll hang up on this person. It's kind of early. It's going to ask me, do I want to make a phone call? Let's say call. I say yes. Now it's gone straight from the iPad to my iPhone, and it started making the call. I'm going to click cancel before it actually starts ringing down there because Hernan Chevrolet is a little busy today. But it will actually start ringing on your iPhone as long as you have synced it properly through the configuration guide that we provided to you prior to this training. Great point. You're also going to see while we're in here again, the visit notes. I can add visit notes from here, just like I could from the other page. I can access the content from here. I can access the contacts from here. I can do quotes from here. And I can do UCL preferences from here. And then I can get dealer info, driving directions, and it'll take me straight there. So, multiple ways to access useful information for you.
Hey, Brett,
Yes.
when you make a phone call, does it have the option to log that call?
That is a great question. If you make a phone call from a contact, and let's go in and let me show you what I'm talking about. I'm in Hernan Chevrolet again. I'm going to hit contacts. Come on, fat fingers. Now I'm going to hit Chris Goins, and I'm going to scroll down. And Chris, does Chris have a phone number? No. Let's find somebody with a mobile phone number. There we go. So now I'm in Ed Redmond. Ed has a phone number. I'm going to hit his mobile phone. Nope, I'm going to hit his office phone so it doesn't freak him out. Want me to call? Sure, I'd love to call. Now I'm actually calling Ed. I'm going to hit cancel before it calls. And guess what's going to happen? Would you like to log this call? Because you can only log calls as contacts, not from the accounts. So I'm in the Ed Redmond contact. You want to log this call? Sure, I'd love to. Let me hit OK. Now I've created a task that's subject to this call. And I can type in the reason code. Hey, we talked about the Advantage program. And I can add in my comments. I've completed it. When I hit save in the top right-hand corner, it would save that. And when I go back to, I'm going to hit done and done. If I go back to my home page, right here under calls, it would say 3 instead of 2. So once again, you can log calls as tasks, but you need to be making the call from the contact rather than making it from the account. Great question.
Hey, Brett, what about emails? Like, do we still have to go in through our Outlook and click that Add to Salesforce button to add all of our emails in, or is that coming later?
Great question. I'm going to bump that one to Asha.
So when you click that button, Outlook to Salesforce, it creates a task in Salesforce that you send an email to someone, but Salesforce doesn't know which account to associate that email to. So when the app pulls down your data, it doesn't know to pull in that task because it doesn't know what account it was for. So I would recommend that you enter your emails through Salesforce directly now, and then those emails will show up in your accounts on the app. Because if you send them through Outlook and then click that button, you're not going to see them in your accounts on the homepage.
So basically what she's saying is you're going to have to log into Salesforce.com through Safari, pull up your contact, say send an email, and then type up the email there and send it. What that does is that associates that email to that contact and that account. That in turn will show up on the new FoxDen app. If you don't do it that way, and if you still did it the old way, then the FoxDen app does not know who you sent that email to.
But it's very simple to do, guys. If you've taken a look at the top right-hand corner of almost every page you've been on, there's a Salesforce link. I can hit that Salesforce link. I can go right into Salesforce and bring up my accounts. Or I can be in the actual account in Hernan Chevrolet. I can type the Salesforce link there. Takes me right into Salesforce again. Takes me right into Hernan Chevrolet, and I can find that contact that I need to write an email to very simply and go in there and type my email that way. So you don't have to necessarily go into Safari, separately. You can do it right from the app. It takes you right there.
So just to be clear, if I'm on a contact in FoxDen and he or she has an email and I click that email address, right, it won't send an email through FoxDen
No.
and log it into Salesforce.
So,
like
okay.
make a phone call.
So just good question. So if you're in the FoxDen app, you pull up a contact and you see an email address and you click the email, what it's doing is it's opening the email application on your phone. That is similar to sending it through Outlook. So that's still sending it through Outlook. So if you send it through your iPhone, your iPad from FoxDen, it's still going through Outlook. What we're asking is that you go directly into Salesforce. From FoxDen, you can open an account, you log directly into Salesforce, and then send the email from Salesforce. Then it will get logged in all of the appropriate places.
Okay.
But I'm
Can you
actually
supposed to do that real quick?
I'm sorry? What was that question again?
Can you walk us through that process so we can see it real quick?
Okay, yeah, sure.
Come on over, Davo. I'm going to turn the reins over to Davo. He's going to take over.
All right, basically what you're going to do is we've got an account, right? So I'm going to pull up this account, all right? I'm going to go into Salesforce. So here I am on that account page in Salesforce. What I'm going to do next is go to my contacts. I'm going to click on contacts. Here I am on the contacts page. Next, I'm going to find the contact that I'm going to email. So I'm going to look for one with an email address. So let's go with Chris Gones. So I'm going to open up Chris. All right, I'm going to click on Chris. So right here, I've got Chris's contact open in Salesforce. And basically what I'm going to go to is go to Open Activities and then do Send an Email. If I do click Send an Email right here, so here it says from, as you can see, because we're logged in as Bert Ford, it'll have your name. It's already got the contact, Chris Gones, that I selected. Here now I'm going to type in my subject, whatever I type in, and then down below in the body I would type in whatever I'm going to type in for my email, and then once I'm done I would hit the send button at the top of the screen. If you do it this way, right from here, then it will get associated every way it needs to, and it will show up in the FoxDen app as an email that you sent out. So this is currently the only way it'll show up.
Do you need to select an account? Because it says related to account and there's nothing there. So do you have to go in and find the accounts that he's related to and attach it there?
Yes.
Good point. Yes, you do. So right here, if you hit the hourglass, you can find the account. You could do it either way. You could do it from the account and then find the contact, or you could do it from the contact and find the account.
All right. Well, we just took 9 steps to do an email, and I think maybe it's something to add to the future of FoxDen that it doesn't open up into Outlook, because if I'm somebody in the field, I'm trying to do a quick email or something, I'm not going to do all that. So
Right.
It won't get recorded.
Yeah.
Just
No.
to be honest.
You're exactly right. That's a good point. So that's something that we can certainly look at and revisit and see how we can make that a little bit easier.
Or maybe even a lot of it easier.
This would be nice if everybody on the call could submit a feedback on this. So
Yep,
that
and
way,
we'll talk about feedback in a minute.
and the more people we have on this, the higher priority we can put on it.
Okay, and then where I was going with my question was emails that we receive and stuff that we have to add in because we're supposed to document everything. So say a dealer emails me directly and I'm emailing back and forth with him based on an email that he originally sent me. Can I still go into Outlook and hit that Add to Salesforce button and it's going to add it in?
Right. So yes, you can. But what you're going to have to do is today when you do that, it will find that email address and match up that email when you send it to Salesforce with that contact. But what you're going to have to do for the time being is go back into that email and also associate that email to the account. Because if it's not associated to a contact and an account, it's not going to show up in the Fox10 app. And that's the issue that we're running into right at the moment.
But David, will it continue to show up on the reporting in Salesforce?
Yes, it will show up on the Salesforce reporting. Everywhere else it will show up. It just won't show up on the Fox10 app.
So for right now, guys, as long as you can do it the way you've been doing it, you're still going to get credit for it from the standpoint of Salesforce when Jeff runs reports. It's just that when you're on your homepage, you will not see it.
Right.
But we will work on, adjusting that to where we get it where it needs to be.
So when I save it that way through Salesforce, it'll save it to that contact person that email's linked to. So then I just need to go back under activity history, find where I saved it, just add an account.
That's exactly right. You got it. That's perfect. That's exactly right.
Salesforce Genius is here. Did anybody else have a question about that?
Well, I have a question. Will it log on to Salesforce if you are in an account, the guy calls you or the lady calls you, and you're driving, and all of a sudden, oh yeah, who's that I saw yesterday? Will it log it in if you go back in Salesforce history, find that person, click on, and then log the email on there? Or also, on the reverse side, if you need to send an email, will you be able to go into history, find that person, click on him or her, and send an email through there? Will that all log into the den?
So are you saying basically that, from the account history, whether you can see that email?
No, what I'm saying is sending email,
Okay.
right? Someone says, hey, Eddie, we were talking about the Sandy yesterday, something. Yeah, I want it. So then I would generally go back into Salesforce, hit history, look for that person, click on, and send an email. As for our conversation yesterday, Mr. Jones, I am going to do the Sandy.
Yeah, and Salesforce isn't changing, so it'll work today exactly as it worked yesterday.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So Salesforce will be exactly the same. It just won't necessarily show up in the Fox10.
Okay.
Awesome. Let's move on to Route Planner. Let's kick this baby going. In the bottom of the screen, you see My Priorities. We're going to jump into Route Planner. So, someone has asked earlier, I think it was Ed, how did she get that there? How do I actually now get my visits set up? This is an awesome feature of the product as well. So, take a look here on the left. You're going to see all of Lindsay's accounts. I'm not going to scroll through all of them, but here they all are. All those cards are there just like they were in the last page. And you can filter by different things. Well, actually, we'll go into filter in just a second. You can sort by different things, furthest, nearest, A to Z, Z to A. But let's take a look at the right-hand side. And what we've got here is a map of Lindsay's territory, and the dealerships are grouped in clusters based on that territory. And let's say that Lindsay's going to be down towards Hilton Head in a week. And you see the bottom of the screen says 25 right above Hilton Head. I'm going to touch on 25. And that's going to zoom in now, and I can see all of those dealers in that area. And I look at that and I go, that's awesome. And actually, if you take a look at the left, now we're just showing the 25 dealers that are reflecting in the map on the right. It looks like 26, actually. 26 dealers that are reflecting the map on the right in the Hilton Head area. And that's awesome, except for 26 dealers. I know Lindsay is an amazing rep, but 26 dealers is maybe a few too many to see in one day. So how is she going to prioritize? She's got one day she's going to be in Hilton Head, then she's got to book it out of there. How's she going to prioritize who she's going to see? Well, of course, you could just go, well, I'm just going to take a look at a certain area and just hit this area, or you can use your filters. And if you take a look at the top left, it says My Dealers. Right to the right of that, it says Filter. So I'm going to click on the filter button, and you're going to see multiple ways now that you can filter through the accounts that are reflecting on the map. You can hit cancellation alert, yes, no. Advantage, are they new? Are they at risk? Used car listings, are they new? We have had, just so you know, we've had multiple requests to add, are they on basic or are they on enhanced here? We are working on adding that for you, so bear with us. We will get that in there. My Carfax, live, interrupted, or prospect, finance status, current, pre-TOF or TOF, corporate location addendum, and last visit over 2 weeks ago or over 30 days ago. So let's take a look at Hilton Head, and I know that Lindsay's been there recently, but I don't know if she saw the dealers. So I'm going to click over 30 days ago because I want to hit those dealers that I haven't seen in over 30 days. I definitely want to hit those. Well, there's 2 that we haven't seen in over 30 days. Let's go to over 2 weeks ago. There we go. So that is going to leave us 6 dealers. That's a whole lot more manageable. But let's say also, you know what? I've already got some fires I got to put out. I already know of a couple dealers I need to see down there. I really want to see a few of those. Who am I going to focus on? Well, maybe I want to focus on my advantage at risk. So now we're down to that one advantage at risk dealer. I definitely want to see that person. But you know what? I think I've changed my mind. I'm going to uncheck that. I'm going to go back, and we're just going to go ahead and see those 6 dealers. Now when I hit close at the top left corner, now I've got the 6 dealers that I've selected that I have not seen in the last 30 days. I want to see these 6. That sounds like a decent day. I want to add them to my route plan. So if you take a look at the dealer cards on the left-hand side here, I'm going to move it around. There's little white buttons right next to the name and the dealer cards. So I got Hilton Head BMW. I'm going to hit it. It's going to turn blue. And the big number 1, which corresponds to the number 1 at Hilton Head, is going to pop up on the right-hand side of the screen of the map. Then I'm going to hit Low Country Motors. Carolina Volvo. Whoop. That's what happens when you actually hit the account. Instead of the button, I got big old fat fingers, but there you go. You can see some good information about the account. Close back out of that. Let's see if I can hit the button this time. Sunset. I have got terrible aim, Baker, and Stokes. So now I have selected all 6 of those dealers in that area. Once again, that have the filter applied to. How do I know there's a filter applied? Take a look at the top left where it says My Dealers, or it says Filter. There is a green dot next to Filter to let me know that I do have a filter on. Now I want to review those 6 selected dealers before I add them. I click at the bottom, Review the Dealers. Are these the ones you want to see? Basically, the iPad's going confirm. Yes, these are the ones. Bottom left-hand corner, I want to add these 6 dealers to my visit plan. I'm going to click that. When do I want to add them? Well, I'm going to be there, let's say I'm going to be there on Wednesday the 12th of April. And Lindsay, sorry, I'm going to mess with your deal a little bit here. We may have to delete these later. But here we go. I've said I've got to be there on Wednesday the 12th of April. I've selected the 6 dealers I want to see. I currently have 0 visits. You see where it says 0 visit there. I want to add them, so I'm going to hit the button that says Continue in that white box. I hit Continue, saving my visit plan. And now I have successfully saved those 6 visits to that area, in that territory. And that's great. Those are the 6 I want to see. But I'm Lindsay, and I go, you know what? I could probably pick up 3 more while I'm down there. I got to drive all the way over there anyway. I might as well pick up 3 more. So I'm going to zoom out a little bit and see what happens. And I zoom out and I go, hey, wait, where's the rest of my dealers? It's not showing them to me. I know there's more because we saw more. And then I remember, oh my gosh, I got a filter on. It's still green up there in the top left. So I'm going to hit that filter button again. And now that filter button has changed to reset. I'm going to hit reset, clear all my filters, and just like that, there are my dealerships. Now, a couple of cool things to notice here. It's brought back all the dealerships that are in that area, in my zoom-in area. Of course, I can pinch. I can actually put my fingers on that map and spread them apart and zoom in. And that'll continue to eliminate those dealers down. Let's say I want to get even closer. I'm going to zoom in a little bit more because this is the area I really want to focus on. And then I got that little cluster of them over there on the left. And there's no way I can touch each one of those because see if I touch number 3, it takes me to number 3, but I can't touch the ones under there. So I'm going to zoom way in because this is an area I really want to focus on. Oh, let's get even a little bit closer. Now I've got some dealers that I'm going to go see. And if I take a look at the left-hand side, I'll see those dealers, but I don't see any that I've already scheduled to see, so I'm going to zoom out a little bit more and see if I can pick one up. Whoop, looks like I was over here a little bit more. There we go. So I've zoomed back out. Now take a look at number 3, where it says Low Country Motors. Look above that. It's telling me that I've actually scheduled to see them on the 12th of April. And let's say I want to add Mike Reichbeck, Chevrolet, and I want to add Hilton Head Cadillac because they're relatively close, or not. But I'm going to add them anyway. The bottom left-hand corner, you want to confirm those? Yep, let's go ahead and confirm those. I want to add them to my visit plan. What day did I say I was on? I think I was on the 12th. Guess what? It's telling me I've already got 6 visits scheduled for the 12th. This is going to add 2 more. You want to do that? Sure. I'm going to hit continue. And now I have 8 visits scheduled for the 12th. Now, if you take a look at this again, you go, you know what? This is great, but I keep scrolling out. I don't want to have to keep pinching the screen and making it bigger and bigger. How do I see my entire territory all over again? Look at the top right-hand corner. Some of you guys that are old like me may remember we actually had paper maps. Well, there's an icon of a paper map up there. I'm going to touch it. Zoom out. Now I'm seeing my entire territory again. And guess what? I'm going to be in Augusta on the 13th. So where it says 35, I'm going to hit the 35 and begin the process all over again for the following day. I can plan out visits as far as I want to plan visits out. I can plan them out for next week. I can plan them out for the next month. I can plan them out for the entire year. If I'm feeling squirrely and I think it's a great idea, I can do an entire year of visits. Gonna hit that map button top right-hand corner, zoom back out, show me my full territory again. Now, a couple of things that are very cool to check out here. If you see on the left hand at the top under my dealers where it says search, I can actually search for any of my dealers. I'm gonna type in Hilton Head, hit return, and now any dealer with the words Hilton Head in it appear. Because I know I'm going to Hilton Head, that's where I wanted to see. Check it out, I've got the top two already scheduled. If I want to add the Lexus, VW, Infiniti, I can add those stores again simply by clicking the button and doing so. But I don't want to do that, so I'm going to hit cancel next to my Hilton Head where I typed in up there. I'm going to hit top right-hand corner, zoom back out on my maps. And now I want to try city, state, and zip code. See where that is right above the maps? I'm going to click in there and I'm going to type in Hilton Head. Because that's where I want to go and hit return. And nothing happens because the app says, I don't know which Hilton Head you're talking about. There could be thousands. I got to type in SC. Now it knows where to go. But check it out. I do not currently have any with the address that says Hilton Head, South Carolina. So I would have to go back, close out. I can zoom back out. Let's try Augusta. It's zooming in a little bit far for me here. Oh, you know what's going on? I've made a mistake. I got this one dealer I still got in here. I need to get rid of them because I'm not going to see them after all. I'll swipe to the left. I hit delete, and they are done. Now I can close back out. Now I can try hitting Augusta, and we'll see what happens. Still zooming in a little far, so we'll take a look at that in a minute.
Augusta's in Georgia, though.
Oh, it sure is.
That's why you didn't get it.
That's why I didn't get it. I forgot you had a Georgia. You're brilliant.
We're going to send you a globe.
There we go. Woohoo! I thought maybe, see, I'm not as smart as you guys are. I didn't know if there was an Augusta, Georgia or an Augusta, South Carolina or both. So now I'm seeing my Augusta, Georgia dealerships right there, and it's zoomed right in, and I can pick those now for another day. Thank you for pointing that out to myself. Any questions on the route planner, guys? This is a big one. This one's going to be the one that makes or breaks you and helps you plan your weeks and months.
And the nice thing is I've asked you guys to plan your months out and let people know where you're going to be each month, and you can do it this way.
Is there a way to delete something that you put into your planner?
Absolutely. You can delete things that you put into your visit plan, and we'll talk about that here in just a second when we get into visit plan. Great question. Before I segue, any other questions on the route planner? All right, well, let's talk about visit plan since you brought it up so strategically. Checks in the mail. I appreciate the help. Let's take a look at Lindsay's visit plan. And we're taking a look at Wednesday the 5th right now. That's the day that automatically pops up. On the left, all the dealer cards like we've been showing you in the past. The same functionality as in my priorities. I can do more. I got all that stuff. And to answer your question, I can hit the remove button and I can hit continue, and that's going to remove Hernan Chevrolet from my list. Now, I caution you here, be very, very, very careful. I think one of your teammates can tell you why, but I'll tell you why. If you take a look at this calendar, you can also see visits that you've already completed. Let's take a look at Monday the 3rd. Lindsay went to Charleston Auto Group. She went to Hyundai Hendrick. She went to Rick Hendrick Imports, Jeff's Autos Wholesales, and it's gray. And why is it gray? Because she has completed a visit note. We know that, again, because it's gray and because you can see it's got the name of the person she visited, their title if it's included in Salesforce, and that she added visit notes. And I can click on Charleston Auto Group, LLC, and I can even hit visit notes, and I can see those visit notes that she put into Salesforce and through the iPad app that day. But I can also hit that trash button, okay? And that would actually remove it from that day. However, remember that Lindsay has already completed visit notes. When I hit trash, it's going to ask me if I really want to do that. And if I hit continue, it's going to go, okay, you get what you asked for. It's taking that visit out and removing your visit notes from Salesforce. So once again, I told you at the beginning, you remember what you knew out of C6? Forget it. You no longer need to go in, search for dealers, delete them, and start all over again. Once you get them in there, you can keep them in there. But once you've got, let's go back to Wednesday the 5th. Again, we've got all these dealers in blue on the right under Wednesday the 5th. Let's say, though, that Lindsay says, you know what, I've spent my whole day in this territory. I've been in Lexington. It's been killing me. I sold a bunch of stuff, and it's great. But I did not get to see Herndon Chevrolet today. How am I going to get rid of that? I want to move it to another week because I'm not going to be back in this territory for a while. Well, there's two ways to do it. I can hit remove and get it out of there. Or I can actually touch on Herndon Chevrolet, the box in the calendar, and I can hit the bottom box, reschedule account review, and I can pick any day that I want to reschedule it to. Hit continue, and then it's going to relocate that visit to that day. So I've got two different ways to either remove it completely or to reschedule it for a different day. Now, if you take a look here, you can also sort. Today's planned visits, top left-hand corner. Excuse me, it says sort. I click on that. Maybe I'm starting in my hotel. I'm going to drive through Lexington, then I'm going to head away from there. So I want to sort nearest instead of furthest. And now I'm going away and heading back towards the direction I want to go. And you saw that it updated not only the dealer cards on the left, but it updated the calendar on the right. Now, other cool thing you can take a look at, you can go back a week. I can take a look at any of the visits that I completed last week and check it out. Looks like Monday the 27th, for whatever reason, Lindsay did not enter visit notes for Godwin Motors. Maybe she just forgot to enter visit notes, or maybe she didn't get a chance to see them. So let's click on Godwin. And again, you can reschedule the account review if she wants to. Or she can go, oh my gosh, I just totally geezed and did not get a chance to enter those visit notes. The phone blew up. Well, right here I can click visit notes. I can go right into visit notes, hit plus, and I can add visit notes. When I hit save and I hit done, this Godwin Motors will turn gray and show all the visit note stuff. You can go back 1 week, or you can go forward as many weeks as you want to go. And check it out. Here's Wednesday the 12th. Here are all of the dealers that I put on there when I added them through the route planner. Well, let's say I don't want to go see Stokes again. I'm going to just hit trash. Yep, let's get them out of there. And they're gone. Let's say I don't want to see DNR. I'm going to hit trash and get them out of there. So you can go ahead and do that and reschedule as you wish. But I want to jump very quickly back to the today. Top right-hand corner, I'm just going to hit that today button. And now I'm right back into today. Another very cool feature of this, if you take a look at the top where it says April 2017, look to the left of that. There are two icons. One is a calendar, which is what we're in right now, and one is a map point. Let's click on the map point, and now I have a view of my area that I'm going to visit based on all the ones I have here on the left in my dealer cards. So every time I add one, it's going to add it to my map on the right. Now this map is non-interactive. You can't pinch it, you can't squeeze it, you can't do anything with it. But let's say I'm ready to start my day. I'm Lindsay. I'm going to hit a Jaguar Land Rover of Columbia. I'm going to swipe over. The first thing I'm going to do is check out their one-pager. So I'm going to hit the content preparation, hit account review all that. Cool. I'm ready to go. I'm going to hit close, and I'm done. I'm going to swipe back over, and let's head on over because I'm going to hit get driving directions and book it right there to the Jaguar store. And I'm ready to go. That is your visit plan. So there is all the stuff you're going to be doing today, all the stuff you're going to be doing in the future, and stuff that you did last week. Yes, Sasha?
Two things. On those dealer cards, if you tap the card itself, that also takes you to the dealer help page. You can get more information. And all the functionality is there too. But more importantly, whenever you enter visit notes for your visits, make sure that you enter them through the app. If you're entering them directly into Salesforce, you're going to see some weird stuff to start happening in your calendar view, and you may not get all of the credit for your visits that you expect to get. So make sure that you're entering your visits through the app.
Awesome. Excellent piece of advice. Stay in the app, guys. Use it for everything you can. What other questions do you guys have?
What did you click to get it to go to the page that shows their usage and stuff?
Awesome. So great question. So we're right at the top where it says Jaguar Land Rover Columbia. I'm just clicking in that white box, and it brings up their dealer health page.
Okay, so anywhere in that white box is their info.
Correct.
Okay.
What else?
Hey, Britt,
Yes.
is there a way to do a custom sort of the cards on the left hand side? So you can sort nearest to furthest, and that's a great feature. Sometimes I'd want to do something a little different from that. And I like to have them all in order. I can take number 3 and put it up to the top.
So that is a great enhancement idea. And when I show you how to submit feedback, please submit that through the feedback. And we are keeping track of all of that. So jot that down quick, and we're going to have you put that through feedback.
On your activity notes to the right, is it only going to show the one person that you met with, or if you have incrementals, will it also show those?
It will also show those. Every visit note that you enter through the app will show up in that list. So if you go, let's say you go to Jaguar Land Rover Columbia and you meet with 3 people while you're there, you're going to want to add 3 individual visit notes, one for each person, and each of those 3 notes will show up in that list.
Yeah, Britt, if you go back to her list, go back a week. And look at Monday, Dick Dyer Toyota is listed twice because she
Yep.
saw 2 different people.
Great point. Yep. I'm glad you pointed that out. Monday the 27th, she went to Dick Dyer Toyota. She talked with Chris Cagno, the general manager, entered visit notes. She also talked with Chris Curley, the used car manager, and entered visit notes there as well. Same thing happened on the 28th, Capital Hyundai. She visited Brian Lindsay and Sam Quiller. So she had entered visit notes for both of those, and they both showed up. Great point.
Thank you.
Thank you. Look at that, Jimmy Jones. I met that guy.
Hey, Britt,
Yes.
how do I get dealers on the left-hand screen, right? There's no dealers there. How do I get dealers on there?
So great question, Ed. You've got to go to your route planner, and then you've got to add them the way we did through the route planner. Remember, you zoom in, you pick the dealers you want, you select those dealers, and then add those dealers to the visit plan on whatever day you want to add them to.
See, I don't have a list of dealers there.
Pardon?
You don't have anything there because you haven't scheduled anything yet. Once you schedule them, they'll show up on that left-hand side.
Yes. You got to schedule them first on the route planner on a specific day, and then when you go back into your visit plan, just like we did, if you guys recall, we did the 12th is what I selected, and here are all the dealers I selected for the 12th. I didn't put any on the 10th or the 11th or the 13th or the 14th, so there's nothing there right now. Even if I hit those days, you'll see nothing on the left-hand side because there's no dealers that I've selected for that day. As I add them, they will populate. Great question, Ed. What else? All right, well, let's progress forward. You see where it says visit plan. Let's click on My Dealers at the bottom of the screen. These are all of the dealers in your territory. This is every dealer assigned to you in Salesforce. I can scroll through them all. Or I got letters over there. I can hit N. I jump right to all the N's. I can scroll back up to the top. I'm going to hit the 6 and jump back up to the top. We just added 2 new features, and you're seeing one right now. When I pull it down and hold it down, it's going to resync all of the data for my territory. So once again, if you take a look at the left, you see I can scroll this way. If I scroll way down, you see now it's turned into a little circle at the top. When I let that go, it automatically syncs. So that's something you can do. Also, at the top, it says My Dealers. Let's Me Dealers 216. There's a filter button. Brand spanking new today. Going to click that filter button. I can filter by all. I can just look at owner groups, and I can just look at child locations. So you guys, because you're dealing specifically with single points, you guys have got the child locations and the all. For the NAMs or SCS, they would have owner groups as well. Also, there's a search button. I'm going to type in the search. I'm going to make it click. I'm going to type Hilton Head. And anything with the word Hilton Head in it is going to populate over here on the left. So now I can go in there and very easily select those dealers. Going to X out of that. But let's take a look at the right-hand side. We're looking at 601 Imports Incorporated right now. Actually, let's take a look at Acura of Augusta, because they probably got a little more information there. Now, if you take a look at that information on the right, it says Acura of Augusta. There's 6 different buttons under there. I can go into their dealer health this way. Remember, I told you there's a lot of different ways to get to the same stuff. I can take a look at content. Next button over. I can take a look at visit notes. They're currently not in here right this second for the last 30 days. I can generate a quote. I can do their UCL preferences, and I can add a visit. So let's say I'm driving down the road, and all of a sudden Acura of Augusta says, hey, Britt, I just got this email that from my finance person that my bill's going up. I need you to get over here today. We got to have a chat. No problem. I'm going to add them to my visit for today. I'm going to scroll back down to the 5th, And you see it says I've already got 7 visits, but that's okay because I need to go see Acura of Augusta. They spend a lot of money. When I hit continue, it's going to add them to my visit plan for the day right off the bat, ad hoc. Let me just tell you guys, this enhancement specifically was one that was done by your greatest team of beta testers ever. So they've been working hard for the last 30 days to get stuff like this updated and new enhancements added. So thank you, Lindsay and Brad, for getting that information to us and enhancing this. But let's continue to take a look at that information. I've got their owner group, Stokes, location, phone, website, all that provides links. I've got their contacts. I see the first 3, but there are a total of 15. I'm going to tap to view all 15 contacts. And here they are. And remember, we got some grayed out ones because they are no longer active at that dealership. I can very easily jump into any of these contacts, go right into my contacts page that way, and be interactive that way as well. So if you need to ad hoc just look up one of your dealers, this is the easiest way to find one of your dealers without going through the actual map and trying to remember where they're located. You can simply go in here and you can type in, I want to do the Audi VW of Hilton Head, and they called me and said, hey, I know you're in town tomorrow. I want you to swing by. Great. I'm going to add you to my visit plan for tomorrow. Hit continue and save it right in there. What questions do you have on my dealers?
Hey, Brett.
Hey, Brett, I know we talked about at one point, since we do see our dealers every 6 weeks, are they going to move it back from 30 days to 6 weeks for visit notes?
So we're looking at that.
That was my question.
It's a lot of data to pull down, and we don't want to negatively impact the performance of the app, but we are looking at how we can make more information available to you to go back a little bit further in history.
Great question. And Asha pointed out something I completely forgot because this is also pretty new. I've clicked on Audi VW of Hilton Head, and watch what happens when I slide it over. I can do 2 things directly from here. I can create a case, goes right into Salesforce, creates the case, or I can create a task. And I can assign whatever type of task, whatever the subject is, call, email, letter, meeting, other, save it, and I'm good to go with that task. So a new functionality in the My Dealers as well.
I like that.
Sneaky, sneaky.
Create a case is easy. I like that.
Awesome.
Good thing.
That also, once again, came from your beta testers. Woo! Good job, guys.
Brett, can you add something on the calendar that's not dealer related? Like, for instance, if you have CTO or a doctor appointment or something?
So that is a great question. Actually, we got that question in one of the other trainings too. Can you please, when I show you here in just a second how to submit that as feedback, enter that. Right now, you cannot. It's strictly for your dealer visits. But yeah, somebody said the same thing. Hey, can I block out a week on CTO and it won't appear or appears blocked out? But please put that in the enhancement suggestion that I'll show you in just a second. While we're talking about that, let's run through it. Take a look at the bottom of the screen. You got My Dealers. I'm going to click on Settings. You will not have this admin section because you're not an admin, but you will have About. So you got About the app. This is stuff we're going to be asking you from time to time if there's an issue. What version are you on? What iOS version are you on? You can download content. This functions just exactly the same way as it did in C6. So if for some reason you are seeing a gray page, and it's this page right here that talks about the tremendous growth, you can very easily just hit download new and missing content, or you can just refresh and hit download all content. As always, I suggest you be connected to a strong Wi-Fi prior to hitting that and downloading all the information. Last but not least, here's what we've been talking about all day. Send that feedback. Here's how you're going to do it. What went wrong? Let's hit the category button. And we have 6 different categories to choose from. Was it data inaccurate? Was there data missing? Is it an enhancement idea? Did you get an error message? Was it a functional problem? Or simply, how do I? So I am very happy to help you guys out with understanding how to do this. If you forget how to do things, that's great. If you could, please use the send feedback. All you got to do is hit how do I, and you hit next step, and you say, how do I use the visit planner? Great. When I hit send, what that's going to do is that's going to create a Service Desk Plus card. It's going to get assigned to me, and I'm going to follow up with you directly, or Dave O'May, on how to actually do what you're asking about. The same thing goes on with this data inaccurate. When you hit data inaccurate and I hit reports, I can hit next step. And then here I can actually include a screenshot if I want to of what's going on. I can type in all the information, I hit send, and it creates that Service Desk Plus ticket. Now what that does for us is it allows us to know functionality. If there's issues, multiple people having the same issue, we can track that. Or if multiple people send in the same how do I, that lets me know I maybe didn't do the best job of training you guys, and I need to do a little bit of refresher, maybe a quick recorded webinar, or talk about it on the Monday calls or something like that. So the best way for us to track all that is to use this feedback button. A lot of you guys have said, hey, I've got an enhancement idea like we just had there. So category, enhancement ideas, can I block out a calendar for CTO? And I hit send, and that comes right in there, and it gets logged as an enhancement idea. Any questions on the settings?
One note, when you guys are having, if you're submitting a ticket,
We're not doing.
Go ahead.
We're not doing a lot of incremental visits, right? Is there incrementals on here?
So on here are just straight visits. So all your visits will just be logged as a visit, whether it's incremental or not.
Okay.
so when you're submitting feedback to us, if you're having a problem, if you can take a screenshot of what you're seeing and attach it to that email, that would be super helpful for us too, to help you solve that problem.
Especially if you get an error message.
Yes.
So, Britt, in order to run the UCL detailed reports and stuff for dealers, we still just need to go into Salesforce and do that in the performance reports. There's not a quick way or a link in here for that, correct?
That's correct. All of your detailed performance reports are all still run through Salesforce.
Okay, perfect.
Great question. What else?
So back to the incrementals. I know you've probably answered this question, but just so I'm clear on it, if we see a dealer, we see 2 contacts with the dealer, we normally log a visit and an incremental, and both of those different metrics are tracked for us. So if we do 2 visits, which we have to do now, is it going to automatically know that one of them is an incremental visit, and it's going to credit it that way in Salesforce in our dashboard?
So I'm glad you pointed that up, and I probably misspoke and misled you. I apologize. When you enter a visit note, you'll see here under visit notes there is type of visit. I'm going to hit type of visit, and then I just hit incremental. And that's going to log it. What I meant was when you see it under your visits, and I'm going to jump back into this as category here. When you see these grayed out, it just shows visit notes added. It doesn't say if it's an incremental or if it's a standard visit. So my apologies. I totally misled you on that one. When I enter visit notes, though, and I hit the plus sign, and I have type of visit, I've got all the type of visits there included.
Yeah, you just made me have a heart attack.
Sorry, man. I misunderstood the question. As long as it was a mild heart attack and you're able just to, pop yourself in the chest a couple times to get it going again.
Yeah, I coughed a lot. I'm good.
Another thing you guys are going to notice is if you're doing a ride-along, and you do see where it says training ride-along, as a reminder, you can only access your accounts. So if you're out of your territory and you're doing a training ride-along, in order to log visits in someone else's account, you will need to go through Salesforce and log the visit that way. Because once again, we don't want to download every account in Salesforce to your iPad app, because you would be there for about 3.5 hours every morning downloading everything. So, and it would take all the memory that you possibly had. So we just download your specific accounts.
And right now, it's correct that if it says no contact with dealer, that's counting as a visit in the tally?
I believe so, yes.
Yeah. So
If it counts that way in Salesforce, then yes, it does.
You hear that? As long as it counts that way in Salesforce, it counts that way in the tally.
it does, when you record a no contact with dealer, it does not count in the visits currently. It should not count in the visits.
Okay.
But we want them to record it as an activity so that we can show that they've tried multiple times to visit and not meet somebody. But I don't want that to count as a visit.
Can you do me a huge favor, Jeff? Can you feedback that into us? Just to make sure we can double check. Thank you, sir.
When do we get to officially start using this? Like now?
Like right now. Woohoo! As soon as you get off this call, start setting up those visit plans and those weeks and get out there and start using it. Please, please, please. We're begging you to.
And then I might have missed this at the beginning, but when you're on the homepage under My Results where it says Advantage Revenue Retention, why is there no circle around that, like either yellow or green or anything? It's just kind of white.
Because there is no target for that one. So if there's a target,
Okay, perfect.
you'll see the number right under that circle. But that one, the
Okay,
I don't have-
I was just making
I don't
sure.
have colors on any of mine.
I'm sorry, say again.
I don't have any colors on any of mine.
Even in my results?
Correct.
Who is this? I'm sorry, I don't recognize your voice.
Mark Stewart,
Hey, Mark, when did you start?
February 13th.
Okay.
Okay, go ahead.
We probably just haven't gotten targets loaded for you yet. But Bill Pilkington has a list of people, and I am 100% sure that you are on that list. I will make sure. But he is working on getting targets loaded for all of our newer reps that may not have been loaded earlier.
Sounds good.
Awesome. Thanks for bringing it up, man.
Okay. And since I'm so needy and always have questions, so one more thing.
Yes.
When I was setting all this up prior to the meeting, I didn't see anything on there that said anything about anything I needed to do to my iPhone to set it up. So how do I know if my calls are linked? Because all it said was all iPad stuff. It didn't say anything for the actual iPhone.
Yes, so your iPhone and your iPad need to be sharing the same iCloud account.
Okay, so that was it.
That's
saw
it.
That, so I made for that, but I didn't know. Is that it? So pretty much now it's set up.
It should be set up to connect, and feel free to try it and see what happens.
And just so you guys know, Lindsay and Brad were both part of the beta test group. They've been using it for almost a month now, and I've been using it as well. But the three of us are resources, probably Brad and Lindsay more so than I. So, if you can't remember something, hopefully they don't mind me putting that out there. But you could talk to them too as a quick reference. Just don't abuse them.
Bring it. I have ridden with both of them, and they are both gurus on this thing.
If either of you have any thoughts or tips or tricks to share with the team, feel free to go ahead and let us know if you have anything you want to point out to anybody right now.
Well, I'm just glad that little box on there about deleting.
Yes.
Actually deleting, because I did that last week and had about 7 nervous breakdowns and had to call Asha, and she had to talk me off the ledge because I accidentally deleted the wrong account. But it does help, at least if you put your visits in pre-planning and your route planning a couple of days ahead of time, because as you can see, I have today's visits on there, so that does really help to have at least a day ahead.
Great.
And the nice thing about this is once you do a visit with somebody, you can go in and schedule in advance. So if you're doing a 6-week advance or a month in advance or something, get in the habit of, starting to look ahead and schedule. Even if you have to go and adjust, you can do that and start to be planned out so that a lot of this is, just plug it in and play.
Yeah. Any words of wisdom, Brad?
It's just the best way to describe it is instead of a really good buffet like we had with C6, it's like they bring the buffet to your table because everything's so condensed and easy to work. So just be patient at first, trying to forget C6, relearn this. But, yeah, if you've got any questions, reach out to me. I'll be glad to help.
Well, I like buffets.
Woohoo! Who doesn't? Rolling on down to that old nasty buffet. Any other questions before we jump off the call? You guys, again, win the award for the best call so far.
Absolutely.
So how does, okay, so one more, when we're in, because I know on the old brochure, it would kind of tell you how long you were at the dealer, because I try to be conscious of my visit times because, they kind of get a little bit long sometimes. So will it do that still, as soon as I hit that dealer and go to their performance or whatever, what's into their reporting? Is it starting like a clock so I know how long I'm in there? Is it going to tell me, is it going to log the time you were there?
It won't tell you. We will have reporting for the managers on this, And also, I should just give you a heads up that Jeff has the admin rights like I have under settings here. So he can log in as anybody that he wants to at any time on his team and, take a look at your visit plan and all that kind of stuff as well. So just a heads up that he has that functionality, and we do have reporting. Nobody tried to hide anything. We have reporting on page views and all that kind of stuff. In marketing, we just use it from our perspective to stand out and say, hey, I'm looking at content and nobody's looked at this page in the last 6 months. Let's go ahead and yank that thing out of there or update it or refresh it or something to make it useful.
But there is no
Yeah.
time. There's no timer set from when you start the visit to when you end the visit to for you to kind of track and see how long you were there for.
Okay, I was just asking because a lot of times, if you go to Salesforce on the homepage and you scroll down to the bottom, it'll say, from 9:30 to 9:58 you were here and stuff like that. So I was just curious.
Okay, yeah. I mean, yeah. We didn't build that into the app, but if that's something that would be useful, then definitely submit it as an enhancement idea, and we can take a look at it.
Yeah. And I was going to tell everybody that I do have the way to log in, like just Jim and I are going to talk about his territory and some of the opportunities he has, and I could log in last night as him and do the same exact thing that Britt just did with Lindsay. So we can do it together. So we're talking to each other. I can see your route planning. We can have conversations and be looking at the same exact screen together. And it's good for coaching and support that way. Or if you're having trouble, navigating a certain part of this, we can log in together and look at it together. I don't have to, envision what you're seeing. So it's a good way to, be able to support you guys.
Absolutely. And the same for us. When sometimes we get these tickets, we log in as you while you're on there and try to run what you're doing and see if we get the same error message. So it's extremely helpful. All right, folks. Well, I'm going to jump off the call. I hope you guys have a fan-schmabulous rest of your week. And I'd be remiss if I didn't say good luck in the contest. Whoop, whoop. Tour de Fox, pedal, pedal, pedal. Cash and prizes on the table. Be winners. Bye, everybody.